PMacMovies back for another PMacMovies haul video. We got a new Dollar Tree sale, November 2020. It's the Black Friday time of the year Dollar Tree sale. They did this last year too, where they started putting out the movies, like I think the week before, week of Black Friday, which of course this year is a lot different. But if you enjoy my videos, take a look at the description section for ways that you can help out the channel. If you are new to PMacMovies, welcome. I make lots of haul videos. I hoard up and I have a problem. But as far as Dollar Tree, while I get anything that's like decent, I'm not going for the complete Dollar Tree collection. When you go in for a Dollar Tree sale, you want to be ready to pass on a lot of movies. Buy what you want, pass on a lot, because a lot of it's junk. But you can find some gems in there. Now, I'll tell you, this sale, I think, is a pretty solid one. I think there's a fun mix of stuff in here, because we got a lot of Warner Brothers stuff, a lot of stuff that's been bargains before, you know, $4, $5, $6. They've been on sale before, but now for $1, beer yourself. There's some that haven't been super cheap. I remember a lot of these, you know, Warner Brothers movies being parts of Black Friday deals in the past for $4, $5, $6 or so. Some of them not. So we're going to take a look at what I found. Of course, I already have a lot, so I didn't need everything that they had. There was some good stuff that I passed on. Definitely check them out. A fair amount of Blu-rays this time. More DVDs, of course, but it seemed like there was a fair amount. First of all, I went to the store near work. They didn't have the movies out yet. They usually put them out early when they get them. There's been a few sales where they didn't get anything, so we'll see what happens with that. I went, me and Charmaine went out. We had a few things to do out in the city area. I went to one store that was near Goodwill. They did not have any. Then I went to another store that was near Big Lots that I went to, and I hit the mother lode. I walked in there, and I'm thinking I'm probably going to leave empty-handed because I'm 0 for 2. And I see that there's an employee that has the movies out over on a register. And there was a big gentleman, a big younger gentleman, looking through the movies, and it looked like he was setting a ton of them aside. I was like, oh shit, is this guy buying all these movies? But he was actually, he wasn't. He had like a decent stack, but he wasn't buying a, he was putting some in like a cardboard thing. So I go over there and I asked if I could look through them. She said, yeah, sure. So they were, those two employees, I think one was a store manager and one apparently was an employee, because after he picked out what he wanted, he went behind the register. But they were picking out what they wanted before they put them out, and I just happened to get there just in time. And the woman was really nice. The one that I think was the store manager, she was really nice and, you know, talking to me and stuff. So I got pretty much first dibs. So that was pretty sweet, and we will see what old PMac snagged up. I got a bag of Blu-rays and a bag of DVDs. We'll do the DVDs first. And the thing is, especially with the DVDs, with any of them really, you want to check and make sure that the disc is okay and that there's a disc in there, because I've got, you know, Dollar Tree movies where they're damaged, Dollar Tree movies one time where it was missing the disc. Hang on one second, I gotta grab some. I'm gonna open some of these as I go through them. They've had some where like the whole batch, like if you bought a certain movie at any Dollar Tree, it would be bad. But the fun thing is too, there's some Shout and Scream Factory DVDs in here, which if you can, you know, the movies might not necessarily be high on the list of things to get, but when they're $1, you beer yourself for the most part. All right, let's see what we got. And some of the ones I'm excited about, we'll take a look. So this one, it feels like it has a code in it. This is a Sony one. You know, it doesn't look like anything that I'd love, but for $1, I'll snag it. When the Bow Breaks. And I believe, I'll check this one. I think it might have a code sheet in it, like for the standard definition. It has a code, but it looks like this is just a Sony Rewards one, so I think this one probably won't redeem for the actual movie. So if you buy When the Bow Breaks, you're probably not getting the digital with it. But for $1, you beer yourself. Temptation has consequences. Morris Chestnut, Regina Hall, and Jazz Sinclair. They're wearing the same dress. Huh. This one I actually got at Big Lots before, but my copy was like waterlogged in the artwork here, so I decided to snag up a $1 copy. Wakefield, which is a Shout Factory one, in IFC Films, starring Bryan Cranston, Jennifer Garner. I actually thought it sounded like a pretty good movie. Kind of wish I didn't get it from Big Lots, but what can you do? Ooh, this one's got... How did this... I could have swore this didn't have a loose disc. We got The Crow. So, I didn't even feel a loose disc in this. That's weird. Maybe it just got loose. It's scuffed up a little bit, but... Will some of this rub off? Yeah, it looks like it. I think this might have been the only copy, or maybe there was another one. I think this was the only one, but it's Safe House, The Crow. This is actually a BBC one, 240 minutes, and it has something to do with like a police officer and something with a serial killer in a dangerous game of cat and mouse, starring Stephen Moyer from True Blood. That's Stephen right there, it looks like, with short hair. The Crow. Looked like a pretty good one for $1. Yeah, my copy is a little bit scuffed. It looked like some of it might wipe off. This is a movie that I've seen the preview for this over many years, and I've wanted it. Never been able to find a decently priced copy. I think some people might have found the Blu-ray of this, but I found the DVD of Rubber. I definitely wanted this movie, so I was glad to find it. It is a magnet one. This is another one. The case is damaged. It's actually like, I think it was like bent right there, but yeah, it's bent. I can feel it there. You could see it more there on that side. But Rubber looked like a fun kind of silly one. I think the tire's like a killer or something. We got some Jon Bernthal, the man from Walking Dead and The Punisher. Very good actor in my opinion. This is a Shout Factory IFC Films release, Sweet Virginia. One of the best thrillers of the year. I feel like I had heard good things about this movie before. We got a clear case too, so I'm hoping you gotta hope that the disc is good on these, which they usually are. They usually are. This one's fine. So yeah, if you see this one, this to me looked like one of the better ones. I didn't really look into the movie much, but I know I like Jon Bernthal a lot, and Rosemary DeWitt is also in it. I don't know who Christopher Abbott is, but it says, a mysterious stranger sends shockwaves through a close-knit community in this nerve-jangling slice of raw suspense. Well-crafted thriller. Man, this sounds like a good one. Sweet Virginia, possibly one of the better DVDs from this sale. We have a Sony one here. Star-studded cast. Pretty star-studded cast. Tim Roth, who I like, Luis Guzman, and Nick Nolte in The Padre. I saw that cast. What happened to Nick Nolte's face? There's like a big scar on it. Probably has something to do with his character in the movie, maybe, or is that a real scar that he has? The Padre, Revenge Has a Price. Sometimes you find these Sony ones mixed in. This is only from 2018, so it hasn't been out too long. Oh, you gotta get the Scott Adkins movies when you find them at Dollar Tree. I was happy to find this. I almost missed it. It was in my second run-through. It is El Gringo, starring not only Scott Adkins, but also Christian Slater. There's been other Scott Adkins movies at Dollar Tree before, and I always get them. I do like Scott Adkins. I think his movies tend to be fun, kind of 80s and 90s action movie throwbacks. Disc is good. Definitely check your discs. This next one, it is a Shout Factory IFC Films movie called Blaze. And this was one, it has something to do with country music, which isn't necessarily like anything I would normally be interested in, but Ethan Hawke directed this. Ethan Hawke, right up there with my favorite actors, possibly my favorite. He directed this. This is from 2018. So since he directed it, I had to snag it. Plus, I got one with the Slippy. This next movie, I really, really like the first one of this. It is Journey to the West. And this one is called The Demons Strike Back. Now, I actually have this movie. I got it from a pawn shop. But for a brand new copy, this is another Sony one. I think my pawn shop copy was probably pretty decent. But for a movie that I really like these movies a lot, I do want like a mint copy. And eventually, if I can get the Blu-ray of this, I would upgrade that too. So, Journey to the West, disc look good. I do get these NFL, let's see, these like NFL history ones when I find them. I actually don't like the Pittsburgh Steelers, but it's Pittsburgh Steelers, Collector's Series, Super Bowl Champs. It looks like it's a 2-disc edition. I actually thought this was like history of the Pittsburgh Steelers, which it's not, because I have like, I have like the history of the Bills, which is my team, and I have like the Colts, and I think maybe the Cleveland Browns. So it's always when I find these for really cheap, like $1, I'll grab them. So I went ahead and grabbed that. It's a pretty nice set for $1. A Shout Factory one, or a Scream Factory, actually. This is a Scream Factory IFC Midnight. Glad to find this. Feral. This is a movie that I saw, I believe, on Hamilton Book. Probably the Blu-ray, and it was just too expensive. I'm not going to pay $10 for a movie that sounded not that great. But for $1, yeah, I'll get it, because I've liked a lot of these IFC Scream Factory movies. Even if they get bad reviews, I've liked some of them. So it looks like the disc is fine. Glad to get it for $1. This is from 2000. It looks like the movie's from 2016. The DVD was put out in 2018. 91 minutes. Not sure if it's going to be up old PMac's alley. Has something to do with a horrifying virus that will soon turn her into a rabid, rampaging cannibal zombie. Cute. Sounds cute. Another one that I think Hamilton Book had, again, I wasn't going to pay like $10 for the Blu-ray, but for $1, I will snag up Rust Creek here. This is a Scream Factory, another IFC Midnight one. I think IFC Midnight, like most of the IFC Midnight movies I've watched, I enjoyed them quite a bit. They're low-budget indie movies, but I found them to be pretty clever. So when you can get them for $1, you snag them. Looks like the disc is good. What is this one about? Choose your prey carefully. Is she on the run from these guys? An ordinary woman must summon extraordinary courage to survive a nightmare odyssey in the backwoods of Rust Creek in this harrowing survivor thriller. Sawyer is an ambitious, overachieving college senior with a seemingly bright future. While on her way to a job interview, Sawyer makes a wrong turn, leaving her stranded deep in the frozen Kentucky woods. Suddenly, she finds herself facing her own mortality as she's punished by the elements and pursued by a band of ruthless outlaws. With nowhere left to run, Sawyer is forced into an uneasy alliance with Lowell, an enigmatic loner with shadowy intentions, and perhaps her only chance to escape Rust Creek alive. PMac, you need to learn how to read. F you. Don't make fun of my reading skills. This was put out in 2018, or the movie was out in 2018. The DVD was put out in 2019, so apparently it did not sell well. It's already ending up at Dollar Tree. Another IFC Midnight movie, Scream Factory. These are all in the same box, so if you get one of the boxes with the Scream Factory stuff, you're probably going to find all of these. The Wind Demons of the Prairie. This is one. Did I almost buy this one before? I think it's another one that Hamilton Book had. Let's open this up so I can see the back. So I think these Scream Factory IFC Midnight ones. These were ones that I was probably the most excited about. And the discs have been all good, which is nice. So let's take a look at what this is about. Indie horror at its finest, says the San Francisco Chronicle. This one looks pretty interesting. An unseen evil terrorizes an isolated homestead in this chilling tale of madness, paranoia, and otherworldly horror. Lizzie is a tough, resourceful frontierswoman settling a remote stretch of land on the 19th century American frontier, far from civilization in a desolate wilderness where the wind never stops howling. She begins to sense a sinister presence that seems to be born of the land itself, an overwhelming presence that her husband dismisses as mere superstition. When a newlywed couple arrives on a nearby homestead, their presence amplifies Lizzie's fears, setting into motion a shocking chain of events, masterfully blending haunting visuals with pulse-pounding sound design. Director Emma Tammy evokes a godforsaken world in which the forces of nature come alive with quivering menace. You PMac, you still gotta learn to read. So it looks like this actually sounds like a good one. Kind of reminds me of something like The Witch, which was a great movie in my opinion. Really good one. Written by Teresa Sutherland. Is she related to old Kiefer boy? This one has a nice booty on the cover. It is Zombie Fight Club. Is that Andy on, Jessica C, and Michael Wan? Ooh, she looks nice. Those characters don't look nice. Now the problem with that is, I don't know if there is more than one copy, but you got to be careful of this too. Look at that slash. There's a slash going through the whole back of that. Because when Dollar Tree employees open up boxes, they don't give an F, baby. They're just open it. They don't care what they cut. Glad to get the movie for $1. If I find a copy at another store, I'll probably grab it and return this one. Looks like this is actually a Chinese movie. It is, again, a Scream Factory one, like a Chinese zombie movie. Nice cover. Up next, we got like a romantic movie with a all-star cast. Playing for Keeps. Playing for Keeps. This is another Sony one, starring Gerard Butler, Jessica Biel, Uma Thurman, Catherine Zeta-Jones, Dennis Quaid. So yeah, definitely a good cast there. Playing for Keeps. Let's check out my copy. When did this one come out? 2011. So this one's a little bit older than, you know, some of these are pretty recent. There's a bunch of what do you call it? Yeah, the Mill Creek Line horror movies. It's like one of their offshoots. But this one actually does have a code, so it'll redeem an SD. Playing for Keeps with the standard definition digital code. Somebody said something about this one. This must be considered a pretty decent movie. It looks like something that would be of Magnolia's Magnet line, but I don't know if they had their Magnet line out yet when this was put out. It is Severance. This is a horror comedy, which I tend to like those. They're pretty good. HorrorReview.com said the best horror comedy in years. For $1, I'll snag it. Let's make sure that this one's in good shape, because this is an older one. This one, I think it said 2007 on it. Movie 2006, DVD 2007. You know it's old when it's got the security sticker thingy on it, which are a pain in the nuts. And they leave that residue, they leave that sticky residue when you peel them off. This one actually not too bad. But sometimes when you get these older DVDs, they're messed up. But this one looks good, so glad about that. Looks like a fun movie. For $1, you can't go wrong. Actually, you kind of can. There's some pretty shitty movies there. Alright. Now, the cool thing about these Blu-rays, which I'm going to show off, is there's a lot of movies that they have that come with the digital code, which will redeem an HD. So let's take a look at what we got. So this is a really cool one. I do already have a lot of these Blu-rays, but you know, if they come with the code, I'll grab them again because the code's worth more than $1 itself. This is Rock'n'Rolla and Swordfish. I saw a couple copies of this, and it does have a digital code for Swordfish, which is not a common digital code, so that's a nice code to have. It looks like Guy Ritchie directed Rock'n'Rolla. That's right. I've actually watched Rock'n'Rolla. And then Swordfish, Dominic Sena directed. Actually, John Travolta and Hugh Jackman are in Swordfish. I think I've seen both of these movies. I think Rock'n'Rolla is probably the better of the two. But for a 2-pack for $1, that's a bargain. This is a movie I remember I got on a Black Friday. It also comes with the digital code. It is Keanu, starring Jordan Peele and Keegan-Michael Kay. Also some other people in this, Will Forte, Nia Long, Luis Guzman. So kind of a funny movie. I didn't think it was that great, but for $1, definitely a good one. This is one that I had actually never gotten cheap. I think it might have been $6 on a Black Friday the year it came out, and I didn't really want to pay $6 for it, but for $1, I will snag up Going in Style. I saw at least one other copy of this one, and this one also does come with the digital code. It is Morgan Freeman, Michael Caine, Alan Arkin. Looks like a fun one, Going in Style. Some geezers. Up next, we have, from the creator of Hostel and Cabin Fever, this is a Canadian release, Aftershock. I gotta open this one to read the back. I'm not too worried about the Blu-rays being damaged, because I don't know that I've had too many issues with Blu-rays from Dollar Tree. I remember another DVD I bought having like a crack in the middle, and there was one that didn't have the actual Blu-ray in it, so you do want to double check still. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just not as concerned. There was a couple copies of this. What is it about, you may ask? It looks like Eli Roth is actually in the movie. In the middle of a night of wild partying, a hapless American tourist and his friends are suddenly plunged into a living hell when a powerful earthquake rips through the coastal town of Valparaiso, Chile. And I don't know if this one got like a US release, but that looks like a Canadian one. Up next, we got a MMA movie, another Canadian one from VVS Films with Slippy Dippy. It is Tapped Out. I saw this one with and without Slippy. I think only one of them had the Slippy. This actually stars some MMA fighters, Anderson Silva, Krzysztof Sozinski, and Lyoto Machida. It says, Explosive, the Karate Kid for the MMA generation. Didn't really look into this one. It doesn't look like anything that's that great, but for $1, I'll snag it. Michael Biehn is in this one. Michael Biehn from Terminator. I do have the Scream Factory of this. I didn't really love the movie that much, so I might look into selling my Scream Factory one and keeping this. It is Return of the Living Dead here. I'm sure the Scream Factory one has a better transfer and more special features. Although this one, it looks like, does have a couple commentaries and maybe some brief documentaries. I don't know. But I figured for $1 I'd go ahead and snag it up. It's got like a booklet in there too. I don't know what the booklet is, but up next we got one that I bought from Goodwill recently, but I know this one comes with the digital code. I thought it did. I don't feel it in there. Maybe I bought this for nothing. It is Magic Mike, which I have never seen this movie. It actually doesn't look super appealing to me, but I was thinking it had the code with it. It doesn't! It doesn't have the code! Son of a gun. Screwed yourself again, PMac. So, Magic Mike. This copy's in bad condition, too. You want to make sure that... So, probably some of them do have the code. You want to shake them up and check if they have the code. I was just kind of, in a hurry and stuff. So I didn't. And I got a crap copy. It's kind of beat up, too. Up next, I don't have this one. Again, it doesn't look like necessarily anything great, but, maybe a nice little romantic drama. Love and Basketball. For $1, I guess you snag it, apparently. Then we have Billy Bob Thornton and Eva Longoria in the Baytown Outlaws. This is a Phase 4 Films one. Doesn't look too great, but for $1. snag it. And then Heatstroke, starring Stephen Dorff and Maisie Williams, Peter Stormare's in it. Whoever Svetlana Metkina is. Doesn't look like anything great, of course. 2012. How old is that Maisie Williams? She must be older than I think she is. Alright, what else we got in here? What else we got in here? We got Live by Night, starring Ben Affleck. I do already have this one, but it has the digital code. I actually got a couple copies of this one. My copy is damaged. Yeah, this one does actually have the code, so that's good. And then this is a cool one, Paddington 2. I do already own this. I don't think I have this particular edition with it's got like a booklet or something in there. I don't think I have this one, and this one does have the digital code. This movie hasn't been out too long, I don't think, has it? These are kind of fun movies. I don't know what year. It doesn't say the year it came out, but it was pretty recent. And then Friends with Kids, which I think Lionsgate released in the U.S., but this is a VVS Films one. Actually, it does say Lionsgate on the back, but it's a VVS Films release in Canada. Friends with Kids. You know, you got a pretty good cast there again. Adam Scott, John Hamm, Kristen Wiig, Maya Rudolph, Chris O'Dowd, Megan Fox, Edward Burns. So you got a lot of names in there. What else we got here? We got another movie I already own. Chips. This is one that's been cheap at Best Buy, actually. And that does... I think some of these will have the code and some of them don't. Mine, I did pick one that did have the code. Then I got Wild Horses with Robert Duvall. Looks like places are getting quite a few copies of this one. So if you're interested in little Robert Duvall and James Franco and Josh Hartnett movie, you should be in luck there. What else did we get? You know, a cool one that I saw, but I already had, is a Jackie Chan movie. I think a 90s Jackie Chan movie. I forget what it's called, but that was a cool one if you don't already have it. PMac already has pretty much everything. This is actually a really good, funny movie, I think. We're the Millers. I really enjoy this one. I got it. I do already have it. I'm thinking that it comes with the digital code. Yes, it does. But yeah, this is a fun one. Again, I remember getting these on like Black Friday time or like sales for like, $10 or something. I guess it was out in 2013, so it's been out longer than I thought. That's a real fun movie. If you find it, that's really a funny one. I already have Lego Batman movie, but I got another copy. I think it should have the code with it. I guess I can't say for sure because Magic Mike has disappointed PMac. But yes, this has the code. And again, I remember getting this just a few Black Fridays ago, 2017. So, physical media, they're just throwing them all the Dollar Tree. Queen of the Damned, which is, if you see this one, definitely get it. Excellent performance from Aaliyah in this movie. Pretty decent movie. I mean, nothing great, but it's enjoyable. And this does come with a digital code, which I believe is a pretty rare digital code, as long as it still works. So that's a cool one. I do already own the movie. Another one that I already own, Still Alice. I'm pretty sure this one comes with a digital code. My copy did. So another one that... Let's see if I can open it up and check it. Check if it has the code. I'm pretty sure this one was one that I got it from Sony Rewards for free, and it had the code with it. Yes, it does. And then this one is a Magnolia one. Serious Moonlight. This is a Meg Ryan. Oh, there's quite a bit of people in this, actually. A love-hate comedy. Timothy Hutton, Meg Ryan, Kristen Bell, Justin Long. You can't go wrong with Kristen Bell. She's nice. Justin Long's not too bad. But Kristen Bell, yeah. She's pretty good. And then this one, I don't really know anything about this movie. This is an Orion Pictures release called Renegade Male Attendant. Larry Gay is in this. It has Patrick Warburton, Rebecca Romaine. I think there were some other people in it too. Molly Shannon is on the back. Taye Diggs, Jason Alexander, Rosanna Arquette. So it's got a lot of names in it. Where do people even buy like this sort of thing? It looks like it's a kind of a no-name kind of release. Like, I don't know where people would even get it. They'd order it online, or it doesn't look like anything that would be sold in stores. Maybe like a Walmart in their little indie set. I don't know. All right, it's not like a burn-on-demand disc. It looks like a regular, you know, proper Blu-ray from 2015. I don't know. I snagged it up. Probably not anything too special. But yeah, there's a bunch of stuff, and there's other things that people are finding. I'm still going to be going to a few more stores eventually. Might even call one today, because there's a town about a half hour away, and they have a Big Lots and a Dollar Tree, and I kind of want to check out their Big Lots too, because Big Lots is getting in like a new display also, and it's got like a bunch of the tartan Asian movies on it, like Asian horror movies. But I wanted to wait until I had like a good coupon to get them, because what happens at Big Lots is I'll buy a bunch of stuff, and then you always end up with like a 20% off day, or you could have combined a 20% off with a coupon. And I actually have a spend $50, get $10 off thing on my account, but there just wasn't enough at the store I went to yesterday to get to 50. I mean, I was at 30 something, and to get to 50, I would have been putting stuff that I just had no interest in. So basically a waste. So I'm going to wait until I get, you know, maybe that Big Lots will have $50 worth of stuff for me to get, and I can use the coupon properly. Otherwise, PMac's going to be patient. But there is some decent stuff at Big Lots. Not great. I believe it's like their Black Friday display. It's not great. And, you know, a lot of these, there's horror, like cheap horror kind of stuff, they may end up at Dollar Tree also. So that's another thing that kind of, you know, they're $2 or $3, but then it's like, these might all end up $1 at Dollar Tree. How bad do I want them? So I stay patient on them. I've been burned too many times. I hope you enjoy the video. Let me know what you've been finding at your Dollar Trees. I know there's a lot that either I didn't need to get or I didn't find. So let me know what you guys got. I'll be looking at a few more Dollar Trees here in the next, you know, the official date for this Dollar Tree drop is Friday, you know, Black Friday. So, you know, try to live your lives the best you can. We need to try to stay, it's hard to stay low on the stress and the anxiety meter, but do the best you can. Try to live your life, you know, the best you can. Don't live in fear. Don't live in, you know, be at peace, you know, try to be at peace. And, you know, a lot of people are like, I'm not going shopping, I'm not going to Dollar Tree, this and that. You know, I'm risking my life and my family's life. Well, I don't know. I guess I shouldn't get into that too much in this video, but if you're living in a state of stress and fear and anxiety, that's like the worst place that you can be in. So try to, we can't live in a situation where we have no stress and no anxiety. I mean, with how things are nowadays, it's just not possible. But try to be at peace. Do some meditation. Do some deep breathing exercises. Pray. Try to be at peace. So that's what I can say. And enjoy these Dollar Tree sales. We'll see you next time on PMacMovies.